Is it true that you were roommates with Cristiano Ronaldo?
Yes. I wake up the next day, it had like 60 million views.
You were pretty big on Vine when Vine started?
3 point something million.
Alrighty, everybody, welcome back to Shadow Bend, where we talk about everything, anything, and absolutely nothing at the same time. Today, we've got a very special guest, one of the absolute OGs, even I'd go as far as saying a pioneer of social media, if you will. Ladies, gentlemen, the other 4 million pronouns around the world, I'd like to welcome my good friend, John Paul Piques. Did I say that right?
Hello, yes.
I said that right?
Yeah.
Lovely.
Nice.
So good to see you, brother. How are you?
Doing well. How about you?
I'm great, man. I'm always great. This is Lachlan. This is a co-host of mine.
Hello, everyone.
And
I like the mustache.
Thank you.
it's his porn star stash.
Yeah, that's it.
Calls it a clit tickler. The girl's just right on his face.
I love it.
Except I don't do porn. Don't even fuck girls.
Only in your imagination.
We won't rule it out.
Yeah.
So what's been going on, man? You got a new roller. You look fresh. You look great.
Thank you. Yeah, got a new watch last week. I've just been focusing on music a lot lately.
Sick. Yeah, you started doing some like DJing stuff, like making music. That's so dope.
I DJ'd at EDC last year.
Oh shit!
Really
What about
cool.
this year? That's this weekend, right?
Yeah, it's this weekend. This year I was kind of like late on saying like, hey, what's going on? Because I kind of forgot about shit.
Yeah, I do. As you do, man.
So I was like, hey, what's going on? So this year, am I DJing? They're like, buddy, you should have told us like 2 months ago.
You asked them like a week in advance.
I asked them actually like a week ago.
That'll do it.
Like 2 weeks before the show. But no, not going there to DJ this year. I'm not attending for the first time.
I've never been.
Really?
Never been.
I've been 10 years in a row now.
Whoa!
Yeah.
So this is your first year without
First year without
going or playing. Wow.
Without going or playing.
Wow.
I feel like it's just gonna be like a year of like sitting back and like watching and see how it unfolds.
Some downtime. Do you go hard when you go to them, like to attend as like just to get fucked up? Do you just go and have fun?
So over the past like 2-3 years, I haven't been like going hard.
Going too
Usually,
crazy.
like, when I go there, like popping pills and
Yep. As
and
you
drinking
do.
and all that kind of stuff. But I've gotten to meet all of like the Insomniac family, like
Oh, okay,
the
sick.
owner, all like the crew, all that kind of stuff. So
Hell yeah.
I always feel weird being high around
Yeah,
around them.
I know the feeling.
Yeah, especially because like I want to like be part of their team, you know, like where like when I'm making music, they could be like, "Yo, Piques, can you play this show or that show?" So I don't want to make a fool of myself,
For sure.
even though they probably don't really care because they're around
Probably
that stuff
not.
all the time.
Most people in that field of work and entertainment, they're all used to it. I think most
But
DJs.
I feel super weird though.
Yeah.
when I'm high and shit.
I know
so-
the feeling. It's like if I do any work things, I can't get too fucked up.
Yeah,
I have to
exactly.
try to control it as hard as that might be
Exactly.
for me.
Yeah.
So you're not going this year. I was going to go. I got asked to go by a couple of people, but I was like, man, I got here a few weeks ago and I was just 3-4 weeks of just bendering.
Yeah.
And I don't party that much back home anymore. So like I was
You're
just
at Coachella.
I went to
How was
Coachella.
that?
I went to Stagecoach. Coachella was okay.
Stagecoach is it better?
Way better.
I heard.
Way better. It's just depends what you're into, of course.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. I feel like Coachella is just a content trip.
Yes.
It's like people aren't really there to have fun.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I think like people in GA, they're there to have fun.
Right.
They're there to enjoy it and have fun and make the most of it. VIP, the artist section. I had an artist band and I ended up spending nearly the whole time in just GA, just getting dirty, fucking around with all just regular everyday people, not the cool people. And I had a good time the second day at Coachella. First day I just wrote myself off. I was blacked out, like just fucked. Stagecoach, I went with a few friends and did the same thing day one, wrote myself off. And then second day didn't really drink, but that were fun. Palm Springs is a cool area.
Is
I love
EDC
that.
the biggest? Is that bigger than Stagecoach and Coachella?
I don't know if
who
it's
gets the
bigger
most
than.
people?
I know it's bigger than Stagecoach.
Yeah.
But-
just 1 second,
Yeah.
just in case that's further away.
It's bigger than Stagecoach, but I don't know if it's bigger than Coachella as a weekend thing.
It's very different
People
vibes.
camp at Coachella, I guess. Or do you
They,
camp at
they
EDC?
do it. Yeah. They
Wow,
do it.
man, I don't know anything about these festivals.
Yeah, they have Camp EDC, which is like a huge camp area.
Yeah.
And then the cool thing about Camp EDC is that they do like they have like a mini festival on the campsite too.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So like after like the last performer at like 4 or 5 a.m., they have like an after party at the camp. But imagine being in a fucking tent.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
And you're trying to sleep in like the
5 a.m.
worst
Fuck that.
accommodations.
And there's
and
just
you
more shit. But that reminds me of Ultra in Croatia.
Really?
So like you go 5 p.m. till 5 a.m. I don't know what the hours are at EDC, but like
It's about the same thing. Yeah.
yeah, and then you leave and you're like, oh fuck, there's all day boat parties, there's like after parties here and there, and you're just drinking all day. I didn't sleep for like 4 full days.
That's
So they're just around the clock 24/7.
You don't really stop. EDC especially, I get the vibe, is one of those festivals where everyone's just gonna be on Molly, on acid,
Yeah.
on shrooms, and just going crazy. Where Coachella was a bit more chill.
Yeah.
But I mean, I had fun. I didn't even watch one person. I don't remember any performances at Coachella. That's how fucked up I was.
That's funny. I went to Coachella in 2019. I only went because T-Mobile, they brought me there.
Oh, okay. There you go.
But it was like the first and last time I went there. Like it literally felt like I was in a fashion show.
Yeah, that's exactly how I felt.
And everyone is like just like who's cooler than me, you know? Like
who has the hottest outfit, who gets the most likes on their fucking Coachella photo dump. It's like I like to go to a festival to get fucked up.
Or for the musicians.
For the musicians, to hang out with my friends, make some good memories and have fun, not to go there to like be the best looking person there. I don't want to do that. I'm not. So I mean, it was a good experience to at least check it out. I don't think I'll go back. But I mean, Stagecoach was fun as fuck. I really like country people, and they're more laid back, and was just getting fucked up. So
that's cool.
It was good fun, but
the neon party is. I had a lot more fun
that was like one of their after parties, I believe. Yeah,
I had way more fun at that than actually Coachella.
Yeah, and it always works out. Like even pre-gaming, I have more fun sometimes. Just getting fucked up at an Airbnb with everybody because you can actually have cool conversations and shit like that. But anyways, man, what's been happening? Like, what have you been doing?
So, what has been happening? I moved all the way out to Thousand Oaks area.
Oh, okay. I was living in Woodland Hills. It's not too far.
So like 15 minutes away. I felt like I had to get out of Los Angeles.
Yeah.
I mean, you're a pretty big advocate on it too, with like the whole fakeness of social media and all that kind of stuff. And I just felt like Hollywood area wasn't for me anymore.
Dude, you can only be there so long, man. And
for
for anyone living under a rock, if you haven't seen him back in Australia or anything, pretty much everyone probably has by now. But you know, you've been in this game for a long time.
Yeah, since
Vine.
I mean, it's almost 10 years.
Since Vine?
Yeah,
you were pretty big on Vine when Vine started.
Yeah, I think when Vine ended, it was around like 3-point-something million.
Yeah, there you go.
At the time, which now is.
I was big, just after the Vine days. I started with Facebook. I started Facebook because I remember you did stuff with Facebook too also.
Yeah, when Vine was kind of like dying off, my buddy Lance 210, who I'm
Lance
sure,
Stewart?
Yeah, Lance Stewart. So
I know
Lance.
Lance.
You know who Lance is. He was like, bro, you got to hop on Facebook.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, let me try Facebook. And I posted like a compilation of my Vines on it. And then the first day, I was like, yo, Lance, like, this is not doing well. Like, it has like 20,000 views. But he's like, bro, you have 1,000 likes and 700 shares on it. That's like really good, like ratio.
Yeah.
Especially starting off.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, you're right. I wake up the next day, I had like 60 million views.
There you go.
I was like, what the hell? And I gained 500,000 followers in one day.
Holy fuck.
On Facebook. I was like, what the, like,
yeah.
Okay, cool. Like, here's another platform that I can go on. So that's kind of when I started taking Facebook seriously, because I realized, all right, Facebook is pushing their video content, so Vine's dying. Now it could migrate.
A lot of people were sleeping on Facebook too, man. A lot of people weren't using it, even still to this day. Like, I posted a video the other night, just a random video, didn't take too long to make, and it's made a couple of $1,000s. Like, Facebook pays pretty well.
I make my living on Facebook.
There you go.
You know,
exactly.
I'm not on YouTube. TikTok, you make hardly any money.
Man,
I think
hard.
my last video on TikTok got like 22 million views, and I made like $180.
Yeah.
Man, I've got like the TikTok Creator Fund. Is that what you've got? It's like across like probably like 200 million views. There's like $5,000. And I'm like, I mean, $5,000's money. It's great.
But imagine how much money TikTok made.
Oh my God. But imagine if that was on Facebook or YouTube. But you know firsthand, like, you know what it's like with, you've watched it, you and I, because I wasn't long after you. I was just after Vine with Facebook and everything. And in Australia, I was one of the first to do it in Australia, you know. So I've been around for a while myself, and we've both watched the evolution of social media. Like, it's so fucking different now.
Yeah.
It's like people are just doing this, and they're like, all of a sudden overnight, they're famous as fuck.
Yeah. I think ever since the introduction of algorithms, it's just completely changed the game, you know. Whenever I have a meeting with Instagram or Facebook, actually just Meta, I guess, in general, they're always telling me, oh, you need to post once a day. You have to post at least 6 stories. You have to go live once a week. It's like, wait, when did I become employed by you guys?
That's the feeling of it, right?
Yeah. It's like, oh my God, I haven't posted 6 stories today. Like, oh, I'm going to fall behind on the algorithm. Like, it should never be like that.
Creates
like,
all this mental fuckery.
Imagine telling Steven Spielberg, you have to make 6 movies a year. You have to, you know, do this. You have to. He's going to be like, bro, fuck you. Like, I'm going to make a movie when I have a movie that I love and I care about. That's when it's going to go out.
Quality over quantity. Like Quentin Tarantino. He doesn't make a lot of films, and most of them are fucking bangers, you know?
Exactly.
But that's the thing with social media. It's just gotten so strict and restricted, like shadow ban's the name of the podcast. And
I love it.
That's so many people can relate to that. It doesn't matter if you do porn or if you do crazy stunts or pranks. Like I think just about every content creator these days has gone through being shadow banned, being restricted, age gated, demonetized, all these things. And it's like YouTube for sure has just been like this since the beginning. And I think TikTok changed a lot in social media. What's your thoughts on like TikTok? Are you big on TikTok?
Big as in,
like, do you support it? Do you like it?
I support any platform that allows a regular person to create whatever they want to create.
And you can go viral on there.
And you can go viral.
Yeah.
I think TikTok is great. It just gives an opportunity for anyone to create a video to go viral and then potentially make a career out of it. So I support any platform that allows that. I think like with the whole shadow ban thing, I think the problem is like there's so much gray area around it, right? Because Instagram, for example, is like, oh, there's no nudity, but then you go on Instagram and you see girls with like their legs wide open,
see-through tops with their nipples,
crazy shit on Instagram, right? Like lately,
crazy.
It's like
shit.
they just chucked like guidelines out the window. I'm seeing people get shot in the face and stuff.
I've seen all
complete naked people. Like it's insane.
See-through tops with their nipples hanging out.
I guess like on that thing, I guess there's like some sort of thing where if they're wearing a shirt, but you could see the nipple,
they're allowed to.
But
if I say the word cunt, I get removed for hate speech. But these girls have got their titties out and there's kids on there, like
I got demonetized for 7 days on Facebook because of a meme I posted. It was of a woman saying, "Hey honey, can you put the kid to sleep?" And then it was a father with like a kid in a headlock. It's like, "I got it, honey." I was like, and I got
That's comedy.
7-day monetization ban for inciting violence.
Wow.
It's like, and I appealed it, and they still kept it. Like, and I still was banned. It's like, bro, like
Facebook's crazy.
Why can't you just, if you don't like it, just delete it? Why you have to
take away your opportunity to make money?
Right, and not only that, now I have a strike on my page, so the next one is for 30 days, and then it's like they punish you by not allowing you to earn money. It's
they do.
It's such a weird thing, like.
Imagine you did something wrong at work and they just didn't pay you that week. You know what I mean?
It's exactly same.
Or you do something wrong at work and like for the next week you have to work for free.
Exactly.
It's like what? Bro, I lost my Facebook monetization for 3 months, and all I did was share a video. Some of my friends who were getting into Facebook, I was like, I'll do a nice thing and help them out. I'll share one of their videos because you know what it's like. You got a pretty big Facebook page, and my Facebook's always been my biggest platform. Like if I share somebody's video on Facebook, it's going to put good views on their video.
Right, of course.
And I was like, you know what? I'll share their video, help them out. Their video was monetized.
Yeah.
I shared it, and it was just them interviewing drunk people. And my share, got removed for inciting gun and drug violence or something like this.
Yeah.
And I lost monetization for 3 months just for sharing their video, which means no money for 90 days, a strike on my page, shit reach. Their video stayed up, but their video didn't get removed.
It stayed monetized.
And it stayed monetized.
Yeah.
I appealed it. I reached out to reps, was ignored. No one helped me. And I was like, this is fucking crazy.
And that's another problem too. Like these companies are so big. I think Facebook almost has $1 trillion valuation.
For sure.
And you can't hire enough people for when someone with millions of followers who makes hundreds of thousands of dollars on their platform has a problem.
Facts.
You can't help them.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Like,
that's the thing I like about TikTok. I actually have a TikTok rep and on WhatsApp, and she's pretty responsive. There's been a few issues she's helped me out with, so that's been good. And YouTube's usually been pretty good with having partners, and you get like the network, someone can help you out, and they've got access to people and stuff. I think Facebook and Instagram have always been a bit hard to have someone.
It's almost like, I feel like it's like an ego or
it
something.
Is.
It feels like such an ego. And I feel sometimes scared to even ask them stuff because of the responses I'm going to get or the no response. I had an issue with my Facebook. I had like some sort of monetization problem, but it was like an AI thing. And I asked the buddy, I was like, hey, can you reach out to your rep at Meta like for help? And then the rep at Meta was like, oh, you have a rep already who's taking care of you. I'm like, since when?
Since when?
For 3 years, this guy has had me, and I had no idea.
What?
Fuck.
So you had, do they give you
8.6 million followers, by the way. No idea that this guy was repping me, that if I had any problems, he would help me. Thankfully, I reached out and he was responsive.
How the fuck are you supposed to know he was there?
Yeah, exactly.
They could have reached out.
If I didn't have a problem and I reached out to a buddy of mine who helped me figure out I had this guy to help me, like I wouldn't have known. And
that's
it's like,
crazy.
What the fuck?
Wow.
And it's so weird because like people who create content, viral content, not just like content, viral content, shit that gets tens, 20s, hundreds of millions
Big
of views.
Yeah.
We help grow these platforms, right? So
for sure,
you make a video that goes super viral. You make it, he texts it to 5 other people. Those 5 other people text it to whatever. They go onto the platform. The person doesn't have the platform. They sign up for it.
Signed up.
It's growing the platform. So for me, it's just such a hard thing for me to take in of like, why would you be against these people
for sure
who have helped you build your platform and continuously try and grow your platform, and then you just fuck them over?
Definitely.
It's so weird.
I know firsthand all of that. Like, you know, when I started Facebook with an old friend of mine, Shami, me and him were doing pranks on Facebook, and they were going super viral, hundreds of millions of views just about every week.
Right.
I grew like 2 or 3 million in a couple of weeks at one stage on Facebook.
Right.
And, you know, to get a hold of anybody at Facebook to get help or say, oh, my video got removed for this. And you know what it was like 7 or 8 years ago? Facebook, you could actually get away with a lot. Like, I'd be doing nudie runs. I'd be putting fireworks on people's beds while they're sleeping. Like, just crazy shit. And it would stay up, and there was no monetization then. That's probably why you could get away with a little bit more.
Yeah.
But I've noticed firsthand, you know, I think my Facebook was like 12 or 13 million followers. And I've never even had somebody at Facebook I can go to and be like, oh, hey, I've had this problem. Because they don't really, Facebook and Instagram, I think, they're not very responsive or helpful with their creators. You know, I think TikTok and YouTube's a little bit better.
Yeah.
But I think if Instagram, it's almost like it's a high school clique or something where they just, they pick the people they want to help, and the rest of them can just go and get fucked.
100%.
You know what I mean? But they're a little bit edgy, just like, oh, whatever. Like,
yeah. But I also feel that TikTok and YouTube are such powerhouses now that Instagram and Facebook, like it's time they shape up or they're done.
Definitely.
You know, like, I don't know about you, but I feel like Instagram is kind of on a decline.
Instagram is for sure slowly becoming a pretty dying platform, I believe.
All the content on it is 3-week-old TikTok content.
And it's so hard to actually, like, it's so hard to go viral on there.
Yeah.
It's so hard to get good reach now. Like, there was a study thing, and it said like 5% of your followers will see your posts.
Yeah.
And it's like, why not? Why not more? It's like
Instagram completely ripped TikTok anyway. Like, Reels was never even like, before TikTok came, it was just like photo, like, you know. But now with TikTok, you have like such a good scroll section now, exactly like TikTok. Yeah. Everyone's doing it. Shorts,
YouTube Shorts,
TikTok
Instagram
has like
Reels.
really made a footprint in how social media is now. It's fucking crazy.
Yeah, it's like every platform copies whatever is hot.
Yeah,
right?
whatever's trending. It's like,
oh, Snapchat has stories. Okay, we need stories.
They tried to buy Instagram tried to buy Snapchat after the stories, and they said no. So they just completely put stories on
like,
Instagram.
All right, we'll fuck you over. We'll just put our own stories.
And that's how stories started.
It's crazy, man. It's like TikTok's changed. I do like TikTok, like for similar reasons. You know, I can respect that they're giving people an opportunity to make something of themselves, go viral, make content, be creative. And, you know, like I've had a few things removed on TikTok, but appealing them, sometimes they come back.
Yeah,
you know,
I've had that happen many times.
And, you know, firsthand, you had a viral video the other day that went crazy. I hadn't posted in 2 months to TikTok, and I posted a video the other day, got over 100,000 likes in the first 24 hours. And I'm like, great.
Yeah, and I hadn't posted in like maybe 2 months.
There you go.
And then all of a sudden it goes viral. And
viral.
Had like 20-something million views, and then I post the same video on Instagram, doesn't even get a million
views.
Oh,
dude, Instagram's fucked
But then
for
I
me.
post a random video just to post, like we said, you know, the quantity. So I was like, oh God, I haven't posted in like 2 months. I need to post something. So just post it. And then that one gets 5 million views on Instagram. It's like, bro, like the good videos.
It's just a hit or miss.
Yeah. It's like literally a computer judging whether
you can post the same video on all platforms, and like it might just go mega viral one, and the rest of them won't even be seen. Yeah. And then some of them, they might all go well. It's
interesting how you get different hate comments or like supporters from different platforms. Like you'll get roasted on TikTok. Then the exact same video on Facebook, people love you.
Which platform do you think has the most hate?
Twitter.
Twitter? Yeah, I use Twitter a little bit.
Twitter. I think Twitter has the most hate because it's a platform of opinions.
And you can actually at least post crazy shit on Twitter. Like, for sure you can. I like Twitter. That's what I like about Twitter. Like, I can post crazy shit there.
Bro, I had a manager that back in like 2018 where he was like, we need to grow your Twitter. I was like, oh, I don't really use Twitter. He's like, give me your account. I'm going to follow like 50,000 people and they'll follow you back. And they did. So now I have like 20-something thousand people who I'm following. So I see the most random, the amount of fucking porn.
So much porn.
Bro,
so much porn.
It's like fucking gaping fucking fisting and shit. I'm like, holy fuck. Like these people are literally retweeting the most craziest shit. And
Twitter is
people
wild.
like getting fucking killed on that. Like, yesterday I go on Twitter, I see like this guy in Mexico who's just like smoking a cigarette at a convenience store, and like 3 gang members pull up and just Uzi. He's just like, you know, just dead. Like, like I'm gonna get PTSD just from Twitter.
Yeah, there's some crazy shit.
Well,
on
like
Twitter.
Elon Musk is the owner of Twitter now, and like I don't know. Do you think that's a good thing or a bad thing?
You know what? I have no idea. Like
it's early to say.
Because some days, like, first of all, I'm a Tesla fan. I'm an investor in Tesla. I like Tesla. I like Elon as a businessman.
Yep.
Some of the things he says on Twitter, it's just like, not that I don't disagree with a lot of things. It's like, bro, like, relax, chill, chill. Like, there's so much people who have like their lives invested in his businesses.
Yeah.
Where it's like, bro, one thing you say, you could just fuck it. Not just yourself, but everyone else, you know?
He's a funny guy.
He's just there like tweeting every day, tweeting like the most random shit that could send.
Do you think it's him or do you think it's someone in his team?
It's him.
It has to be him, yeah. He's a bit of a troll sometimes. Yeah. That's what I like.
That's what I like about him.
Yeah, I like his sense of humor.
when he's trolling. I love that shit. I just think that like there's a few things, like the verification thing where he like removed everyone's verifications.
And that led to Instagram doing it.
Instagram stole the exact same idea as well, charging the money.
Right?
That's crazy.
And now everyone can get verified, and it's less meaningful for creators who are verified. You know,
like why couldn't he just remove the verifications from people who he found out that paid for verifications?
Yeah,
you know? Because like on Twitter, I'm not like a big Twitter person, so I'm not influential on the platform, right? My verification was removed, but it's like, you know, it doesn't make me better than anyone else that I'm verified, but there's been many times where people have used my name on Twitter and sent people DMs to try and scam people.
Yeah, there's loads of the scammers out there.
Yeah, so like that's one of the reasons why like a person like me should be verified, because I don't want to get involved in none of the shit of like scams and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. And not only that, it's like I've worked for the verification.
Definitely.
And I got verified because at the time I was on Vine, and Vine was owned by Twitter, and they verified me. So it was just like a little bit weird that he would just remove everyone's, and it's like, okay, now you got to pay for it.
Yeah.
And then all the celebrities were like, I'm not paying for it. All the Twitter users were like, what are you, broke or something? It's like, no, it's not about being broke. Like, you know,
well, I was verified for the last couple of years, and then I got told that you need to start paying for it or you're going to lose it.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, well, fuck. But also, I think another good thing for someone like yourself is like you've got a good fan base. People have watched you for a long time.
Yeah.
And it's good if they're going to go to Twitter to look for you to see extra content or anything else. It's like, it's good for them to be able to differentiate and be like, cool, this is the verified Piques. Like, we know we're following him.
Right.
We're not following a fan page or a spam page or a scammer or anything, you know? I think the verification thing's cool, but like I think giving it so easily accessible to everyone is pretty crazy.
And on Instagram, the scammers, they literally buy the followers on not like millions, but people with like 50K, they'll buy 50K followers to the account and make it look identical to anyone else wwho like doesn't have a tick.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I heard that Instagram is this is the rumor, is that they might make verification colors different.
Yeah, I think they're talking about like a purple badge for people that are paying for it, then blue for or authentic creators or public figures and so on. It's crazy, man. Social media is just always changing. It's crazy. I can't keep up with it sometimes.
Me neither, man.
That's why I've always just tried to put money into real life things outside of it. And I think you've done many things the same, you know, like, because we know this shit, I mean, it could last as long as you want it to, but it's not going to be forever for everyone.
Yeah, like for me, it's over the past, I don't know, 4 or 5 years, it's kind of like I don't feel the same love for it as I did before. Not because like anything within myself personally, but it's just the way everything's been run and the way I've been treated.
I'm the exact same position, man. I'm in the exact same boat. You know, the last 2-3 years, I went through a stage where I wasn't making much content at all.
Yeah.
You know, I got into doing OnlyFans for about 6 to 12 months with my ex just to try something new and just be like, fuck it, at least I can make a shitload of money now.
Yeah.
And it takes that pressure away from like, oh, I have to, because like you said a bit earlier, it's like you feel like you're employed by Instagram or Facebook now. It's not, because I started because I wanted to be my own boss, answer to myself, create content, make people laugh. If I could make money, amazing.
Yeah.
Now it's like, oh, well, there's all these rules, there's all this. You have to answer to us. You have to do what we say. And I'm like, takes a little bit of the fun away from having that creative control, I think. Because you got a good sense of humor, and we all like dark humor and fucked up jokes and shit like that. And nowadays,
That's what comedy is.
Exactly right. It's exactly what comedy is. You're Canadian, right?
I am, yeah.
See, I've always said Canadians and Australians share good senses of humor.
Yeah.
Like not hating on all the Americans, but I think a lot of Americans don't get my humor, as to say. A lot of people out here don't.
Yeah.
But I think any Canadian that I've ever met, they have all their humor. Like, look at Tom Green, Jim Carrey, like some of the best comedians ever are from Canada.
Yeah, and I think that like humor brings people out of a dark place.
It does.
A lot of comedians were going through a lot in their life, and comedy is what helped them get out of it. So, I mean, just like yourself, the reason why I kind of wanted to start doing videos online was I just wanted to make people laugh.
Yep.
You know, when I was growing up and I was in school, everyone was like, "Oh, you should be a comedian," this and that. I was like, I don't want to stand on stage and do that. But then when YouTube came out, I was like watching a bunch of YouTubers. I used to watch Ryan Higa. I don't know if you know him.
Long time ago.
Yeah,
Long time ago.
He used to create amazing videos. Watched him a lot, and I was like, oh, you know, now people are doing comedy skits. So that was kind of cool. And then when Vine came out, I saw a bunch of people on there like Rudy Mancuso, King Batch, Dave Storm, all these guys, and they're making 6-second videos. I was like, oh.
Because that was the thing on Vine, was 6-second videos, right?
Yeah, and
you just needed your phone. 6 seconds. It's
That's
so
crazy.
Impressive.
Yeah, and you just needed your phone.
Yep.
So I was like, oh, I got to try this. So that was like why I started. It was like an easy thing to do. I sent all the videos to my friends, so like making them laugh. Okay, cool. And then all of a sudden, videos started doing well. I was like, oh, cool. Like I should continue doing this because it's doing well.
Yeah.
And then the first brand comes, and it's like, oh,
you
now
can make
I
some
can
money
make
here.
money.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like a double-edged sword, you know, because once like money comes into the play,
It gets more complicated.
It gets more complicated because then you quit your job.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then
Pressure.
it's like, okay, now it's no longer for fun.
Yep.
It's my actual
It's
life.
work.
Yeah.
So now I have to make sure that I'm creating to earn. And then with content like you and I, it's super hard for us to make money because
if anything is remotely edgy,
brands don't like us. Let's just be honest, right? Disney is not going to advertise through you.
No.
They're not going to advertise through me. So, and I would never, and I'm sure you would never.
It doesn't go along with our brand. It doesn't go along with our brand anyway.
Right,
you know,
exactly. So guys like you and I, we need to kind of create our own brands or create our own business ventures or do whatever we need to do outside of social media to, you know.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, we'll interrupt you to bring you one of my favorite segments of the podcast. This is Joe's Bartender Confessions, brought to you by my favorite, Joe Fortune. Basically, what we're doing is we read out some dirty, fucked up, deep, dark, little secrets and confessions sent in by our audience, where you will be remaining anonymous. So if you guys have got some really weird, twisted confessions you want to get off your chest for us to read here on the podcast, send them on in to Lachlan himself here. One night, my mum's friend stayed over, and I was always thought she tried to always talk a little too much to me in a weird way. I was only 17 at the time. Well, this is kind of creepy. One night at about 11ish, at night, I heard a light tap on my door. She pushes the door open, comes in, me being the horny guy I was. We both knew what was going to happen, so I got my dong out. She came in and sucked me dry, keeping in mind she's 47. Well, I don't know what to say about that one. Is it legal? Is it 16 and above? I'm not too sure. I think that's how it works. Moving on to the second confession. I was seeing a guy for about 6 months and everything was amazing until one night. Whilst we were having sex out of the blue, he urinated all in my mouth, pulled my head into him. I bit down and he shoved me off him, so I slapped him and grabbed my stuff and left, and then I blocked him on everything. To this day, we still haven't spoke. It has been 9 months, 37 days, and we still haven't heard a word from each other. Wow. Well, those confessions are strange. Brought to you by Joe Fortune. I think it's never good to rely on brand deals and endorsements anyway, because a lot of the time, like we've probably all done our fair share of doing brand deals and stuff over the time, you know, where they might say to us, oh, we need you to say these things and do this and don't do that. And I'm like, well, do you want me to make something that my fans will like? Or do you want me to make something that you guys are going to like? And if it performs bad, that's not on me. Like if this video goes shit for you, you've told me what to do and say. I've told you what I think will work and will go well with my audience, and you didn't want it. So if I post a video and it gets like 10% of the views it normally would get, don't blame me, because you've told me to tone myself down. I'm well known for being like on the edge, doing crazy shit, being wild. If you want me to be like, hey guys, go and check out this protein company, it's like, it's gonna go shit. Yeah. If you let me throw it all over my friends and fucking get crazy and just do dumb shit, like it's probably gonna get more views. I mean,
it's so frustrating trying to tell them too, because you know it's gonna go shit, and you just try to explain to them it's gonna suck so bad.
Yeah, it's happened so many times.
It's crazy. How long have you been living in LA?
I've been here since 2015.
Oh shit! So 8 or 9 years nearly.
Yeah, 8 years.
Because I've read a rumor. I don't know if it's a rumor or not, or if it was true. But is it true that you were roommates with Cristiano Ronaldo?
Yes.
So you were sharing a room with that man.
Yes.
And how old were you?
I was 15 and he was 16.
Holy fuck!
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah. We'll get into that real quick. So when I was younger, I was playing at like the highest level of soccer.
I read that you were like doing a lot of like professional level like football, soccer. I don't know what people call it.
Soccer, football.
Yeah, same thing.
Whatever you call it. So a team of mine went to Portugal for a tournament. We did really well. I did well. And then Sporting Lisbon, which is one of the top 3 teams in Portugal, they went to my dad and were like, we want your son to come back in the summer for spring training.
Sick.
We like him. He's not on the team yet, but we're really interested in him and having him here.
Hell yeah.
So I ended up going back in the summer, tried out for the team. 2 days into training, they're like, we want your son to stay. So it was kind of like hard on my parents, because it was like I was going there to try out to your son is staying here. And
in a completely different country.
15 years old.
Yeah.
Completely different country.
That's crazy.
6 hours by plane across the ocean.
In a crazy country too.
Yeah, it's not like my parents could just drive to see me or anything like that. So it's kind of hard on them, but they're willing to make that sacrifice. And I was also
parents.
Yeah,
it's great parents.
Yeah, it was also my dad's dream too, like to see me play professional, because my dad was professional when he was younger.
Sick.
Oh wow.
So I actually lived inside the stadium.
Whoa. What the fuck?
Yeah, it was.
At
like,
15 years old.
15 years old. To think about it now, it's kind of crazy, because I would like never let my son do that. But so imagine there's like maybe I would say maybe like 20 of us living inside the stadium. They have like, I don't know what they call it, like dorm rooms.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's like it was basically like we had like a living room and then a hallway of rooms.
Yep.
And then like a bathroom where like an open bathroom with like
sounds like boarding school almost.
It was like a boarding school.
Yeah.
That's what it basically was. But like bad conditions. Like my bed was like being held up by books. Like when my mom came there, she went into my room and like instantly started crying.
Oh my god.
she's like, you need to come home. I can't believe you're living like this, whatever. But like honestly, so I come from like a middle class family, so I never really my family never really struggled financially. Thankfully, growing up. So living like that kind of helped me understand like
it opened your eyes a lot.
Yeah, because I was struggling like mentally to like live like that. Yeah. I had really no money for food when I was there. Like my mom would send me like $300, but I'd spend it on stupid shit and then have no money.
Yeah, well, you're not to spend you're not real smart shit. And experienced enough to know what to do sometimes with that shit.
So I was just figuring out life as a 15-year-old kid in another country, not speaking.
You'll find that shit. It almost forces you to grow up early too.
Yeah,
you'll find it would have probably taught you a lot of valuable life lessons as well.
Yeah, it made me realize about life real early.
Were they compensating you there, or is it like to go further where you get paid?
Yeah, they weren't compensating us, but they were giving us like free food.
So you could live and eat and live there for free pretty much.
And is it just hopes to make it to the bigger leagues?
Right, exactly. Because at 15, I would say like 99% of us were on professional contracts. We were on youth contracts.
Gotcha.
But Ronaldo at the time was on a professional contract because he was 16, but he was playing for the B team of the first team. So
he was playing high level from a young age.
He was playing one team below the highest level in Portugal.
So he had a bed frame.
16. Yeah. He knew, like, everyone knew that he was going to be a professional soccer player and be on the team.
Yep.
No one, well, I can't say no one because for sure he knew. Yeah. And maybe a couple of people who were closer to him knew that he was going to be the best.
Yeah.
But I had no fucking idea this guy was going to be the best player to arguably ever live.
That's crazy thinking like a 15, 16-year-old, they can just see he's going to be the best.
Yeah. Well, he was insane. Like he was
just really good.
Incredibly talented. Whenever we were just in our living room chilling or the room, he would always have a tennis ball.
Yep.
And if you walked by him and he had a tennis ball, he would put it through your legs.
Oh,
Like
wow.
he was obsessed with soccer. If we went out at night, he would never come.
Yep.
If we went to the subway to smoke cigarettes, he would never come.
Yep.
If we did some stupid shit, he would never come. It was like he was so mentally strong, even at 16 years old.
Yeah.
Wow.
It doesn't surprise me that he became who he is today.
He was just tunnel vision from a young age.
Tunnel fucking vision.
It's awesome.
And it honestly, it's probably because he grew up in a traumatic childhood.
Yeah.
And he left his family. I think I could be wrong on the actual date of how old he was, but I think it was like 9 years old or something like that when he left his family in the islands of Portugal to come to the mainland.
Yep.
So in order for a kid to get through that at 9,
That's
imagine
impressive.
9 years old.
Yeah.
They don't even know what anything is.
Yeah.
How do you even fend for yourself at that age? You know what I mean?
You don't.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So you have to be mentally tough. And if you could survive that, I mean, he is who he is today. And the cool thing about Ronaldo, I lost touch with Ronaldo. Like when I left there for like 3 or 4 years, I actually saw him again when he came to LA and like we rekindled.
Oh, cool.
It was really cool because this was like maybe when I was roommates with him was probably 2006, 2005, I guess. And then I saw him again in 2017, 18.
Okay.
But he's met so many people.
Oh, hell yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So throughout the whole time, I'm like, fuck, I wonder if he still remembers me. Like we lived together for 10 months.
Yep.
So
That's
maybe,
awesome.
Yeah, maybe he still remembers me.
Once he
That's a long period of time.
It is, but like, I don't know. I guess it's like insecurity a little bit
Yeah.
of like how small of a person small of a role I played in his life compared to other people.
Yeah.
And then when I saw him, he's like, "Whoa, what the fuck are you doing here?" I was like, "Oh, so he doesn't remember me. Cool."
Man, I'm a peasant compared to that man, but even me,
same.
I have a hard time always remembering everyone.
Yeah, exactly.
And because like you know what it's like in this network when you're networking, you go to events, parties,
And
travel,
meeting hundreds of people.
there's
thousands
always
of people.
whether it's creators or normal people or business people, it doesn't matter. Like I've met so many people, and 5 years later, I'm like, "Hey man, it's nice to meet you." Like, "Oh, we met at this thing," and I was like,
Right?
"Oh, fuck." I was, "I'm sorry, I'm not an asshole. Like I'm really not."
Imagine that, and now
Times
at
a million.
Cristiano Ronaldo level.
Yeah, it would be fucking hard.
Yeah,
Is he the GOAT? Is he like the greatest to ever play the sport? Would you say Messi? Would you say Ronaldo?
Well, I can't say Messi because
Of course.
no, like first of all, I think they're two completely different soccer players, football players. They are like Messi is better in some certain aspects, and I think Ronaldo is better in other aspects. I think Messi with his feet as a dribbler is not way better, but is a better player. I think Ronaldo as a finisher is a better player.
He's been on the high level for a little longer, hasn't he, Ronaldo? Or are they both
I
around
don't
the same
know.
time?
I think maybe like if it is, it's probably like a year.
I was a rugby
longer.
boy growing up. I played a lot of rugby. I know Canada has rugby as well.
Yeah,
so
we do.
like, but I didn't play a lot of football / soccer growing up. But I watch like the Olympics and when there's World Cups and stuff on, I'll get into it. I don't watch the normal league, so I'm not too familiar with it all. But
Yeah.
everyone knows Ronaldo, everyone knows Messi, the big names and stuff. So
Yeah, if you had to ask me, I think Ronaldo personally is the best of all time.
Yep.
But now that Messi has won a World Cup, you could arguably say that Messi is the best player of all time. I think it's fair to say that both players have entertained us for so long that we should be thankful that we are living in their
perfectly
time,
said. It's a great analysis.
right? Like I wish I could remember Michael Jordan play as through his prime, but I don't. But now I cherish the people who I've.
Well, they're like the once in a generation kind of players. You know, we're lucky to have a
exactly.
couple of them. We're lucky to have a few of these talents. So
and going head to head at the same
head to head.
time.
Exactly right. It's
crazy.
something that's like almost like in tennis. You got like Roger Federer and Rafael Nadal in their prime. It's obviously that's a bit smaller because it's a lot less popular sport around the world. But football is like massive. It's probably the biggest sport around the world. I'd say.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's crazy, man. That's a pretty wild story that you were living with like one of the most. He's probably the most famous man alive.
I would assume so. Yeah.
I think he's got the most Instagram followers anyway.
And the craziest thing is when he was 16, when I lived with him, he had no money.
Yeah.
So my dad came to visit, and he asked my dad to pick his friends up at the airport because he had no money. My friend was like, "Oh," my dad was like, he was tired, right? So he didn't really want to do it, but he felt bad for Ronaldo, so he ended up helping him with his friends, and he actually became really good friends with my dad.
Sick.
Because my dad's just like a generally nice guy, so
Yep.
like he's sometimes too nice to people.
Yeah,
People
yeah,
take
yeah.
advantage of him, but He really was fond of Ronaldo, and like he would take him to eat and do all this kind of stuff. And it was cool because my dad went to watch him play when he was in Manchester, and he waited for him after the game. And Ronaldo was there with the security guards, and he wasn't like taking anything from the fans. And I don't know how my dad got like in his ear, but somehow my dad like called him out. I think it was because my dad spoke in Portuguese to him in England, so he wasn't used to it.
So is anyone in your family from Portugal?
My dad, yeah.
Oh, so you got like Canadian and Portuguese?
Italian Portuguese.
Oh, well, there you go. Sick. That's dope.
Yeah. And I guess so. My dad called out to him, and he turned around and saw my dad, and he told the security guards like, "Yo, chill 1 sec." And then he went to my dad, took a picture with him, signed.
That's
the book,
sick.
And, yeah. So.
That's cool.
He seems like a cool dude, man.
He's a cool dude, and if you follow Cristiano Ronaldo on Instagram, you see like he takes care of his people.
Yep.
You know, so it's to be at that level and still be humble towards the people that you love.
I think that circles back to the humble beginnings of being so young and getting to the mainland off the islands and stuff, and not really having anything. He probably never forgot those times of growing up with nothing and struggling, and probably wouldn't have money for food even, you know, when he was younger. So I think even myself, I didn't grow up with a lot, you know, and it's like I'm not rich really at all compared to that sort of stuff, but I like to look after people, especially the people that were good to me in earlier days, and it shows that he's a good humble person at least, so that's cool. Man, that's dope.
I think one of like the biggest things for me is always trying to stay humble, you know, and you know, this could go any day, you know, or 100%. Even our health, you know, like one day you could be perfectly fine, and the next day you have a life-ending
literally
disease,
man.
Or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
it's important to remember that we're all human, and we all have our challenges, and we all face certain things that we face.
Yeah, man.
And everyone is equal, because it doesn't matter like where you are in right now. You know, you could be at your worst, and next week you could be at your best.
Yeah, bro. Life's just like this, man.
It's happened to so many people. You know, I've gone through so much shit in my life where I've had super highs and I've had super lows. And I know personally, like for me to get out of those lows, I've had to have highs and realize that when I'm at that low, there's a high coming.
Yeah. Well, that's a part of life, man. It's I think when you can accept that and just prepare yourself for when those times come, to know that it's going to pass, and it's the highs to highs, lows to lows. I can relate, you know, myself, man. I've been through all my own shit, mental health struggles, breakups, and all kinds of fuckery and stuff with this social media world. As you said, people can take advantage of each other pretty easily in this world. There's a lot of shitty fakeness out here in LA, and a lot of other things going on. Sometimes people you think are your friends, they're not. They're just there for certain reasons. I know what it's like, man. Like, it's like you hold on to the good times when the bad times are there. You just got to remind yourself, you're like, shit's going to get better. It does. It's natural. It's like, it's good. It's normal to go through shit in life. I think one problem for me that I've faced with the social media stuff is like, people are like, oh, well, you've got money or you've got this. You shouldn't be like sad. You're not allowed to be sad. You're not allowed to have problems. I'm like, we're still human beings. We still have emotions. We still feel things, you know, just the same as everyone else. It's your job title or your status or what you do for work doesn't mean you're not allowed to have problems. Like it's
a funny thing how people equate money to happiness.
Yeah,
money is just something that allows you to purchase things.
Definitely,
that's all it is. You know, like you could purchase something and feel that, oh, yes, I was able to buy that. But if you're not dealing with what you're doing, what you have going on in your real life,
for sure,
money doesn't fix that. So,
I know well firsthand. I know that money will not buy happiness. It's nice to have to help people to buy things you want, to healthcare, all these things. But I've learned that with like some of the TikTok people or even OnlyFans creators. You know, they think like money is the be all end all, and you know, I'm like, fuck, man. If I could give you any advice without being a prick, money isn't going to be the answer to everything. As you get older, you'll find good experiences, relationships, friends, looking after people, giving back, doing things you personally enjoy, whether it brings you money or not, is important. And
I think that's what gets me out of my lows, is just remembering to do what I love to do. And if I don't fucking feel like doing it, I'm not going to do it. You know,
I'm the same, bro.
No one's going to force me to do something anymore that I don't want to do. Like, there's been so many times where I've done stuff and I didn't want to do it, and it made me feel shit. Not that it was like something crazy or anything like that, but it wasn't something I didn't want to do, or not something that I wanted to do. And I think doing whatever makes you happy, whether, like you said, it makes you money or not, is really a fulfilling thing.
For sure, man. So doing podcasts, I really enjoy doing this, and I'm not sure whether this will ever make a dime, but I don't care.
Cares?
It's a hobby. It's fun. I like to sit down, share stories with really cool people like yourself, other guests interested me. It was fun, man. It's nice to. It's different. It's stuff that I enjoy, and I know there's platforms for me to post this and have fun, and people like to hear stories and stuff, man. It's like to constantly feel that pressure of like, oh, I've always got to be super relevant, super hot and trending. I've got to make a viral video every day. It's like, it's just unhealthy. And you and I both know we've been around a while. I'm getting older and stuff, man. It's like, it's just not realistic to constantly be that guy. And it's,
and
it's
who the fuck gives a shit?
Who fucking cares? Exactly right. Just ride the waves when things are good and embrace it and enjoy it. If things are bad, just enjoy it as well. Just fucking make the most of it.
That's exactly what I feel. I mean, I produce music. I make hardly any money making music.
It makes you feel good.
But I do it because I love to do it.
Exactly.
You know, and if I make money from music or not, I really don't give a shit. As long as I get to put out what I like or what I feel like, that's all that really matters to me at the end of the day. So,
what's your thoughts on like obviously we've watched social media change so much over the years. Now one of the hot things is boxing in YouTube boxing. What's your thoughts on all the YouTube boxing? Do you watch much of it?
So I haven't watched YouTube boxing. I haven't really watched. I followed like the Jake Paul fights because of I'm friends with Logan. But I think it's cool. Like, why not?
It's just different, isn't it? It's like it gets a lot of backlash for like, but I think that's just when there's professional boxers who have been doing it their whole lives who aren't making money. They get a bit upset.
Right.
But I mean, well, these guys should focus on growing themselves as well. You know, if you're a professional athlete and not thinking that social media is important, that's their fault.
I reckon it's cool. Like, it's kind of interesting, all the influencers having like something that isn't social media, like a sport, and they're all just competing in it.
And it's a healthy sport, and it's teaching kids as well to defend themselves. They might want to get into it.
Yeah, and if you're a boxer and you're not happy with how much money YouTube boxers are making, then negotiate your contract. Like, what does it have to do with them? Like, they're in charge of their own lives, and they're making sure they're paid. If you're not, how is that their fault?
Yeah.
And they're still treating it seriously. They're training their asses off. They're walking out in front of a crowd. And if anything, I feel like just an average Joe that's a professional boxer, had 10 fights, they've got less pressure because these social media people, we've got millions of followers, more pressure of like, hey, if I get slapped and land on my face, I'm a meme for the next few weeks. People are going to bring that up for the rest of my life. I'm a laughing stock, I'm a joke, I'm a failure. People are going to comment it forever. So it's like there's so much more pressure, and rightfully so. There's more money. There's more to go. Maybe they haven't trained as long or worked as hard as some of the pro boxers, but there's also a big consequence that comes with doing the social media shit. Like you saw what Jake Paul did to Tyron Woodley, you know what I mean? Like that poor dude now has to live with the fact he was slapped by former Disney Channel kids, you know what I mean? And I'm the same. I watch Jake's fights. Jake's cool to watch. I get along with Jake and Logan both really well. Never had a bad word to say about either of those guys. They've both always been really cool with me. I haven't watched many of the other cards or the other events. I don't care too much for those ones.
You gotta respect Jake too, you know?
For sure.
Like, he's dedicated so many years now of his life towards boxing. It's like, how could you hate on a kid? Well, I mean, obviously there's going to be people who hate on him, but like in general, how could you hate on a kid that's been putting 100% into the sport? You know, like he might be controversial by the things he says and the way he acts, but that's just all a facade. That's just
it's like WWE. There's a character. You're playing a role.
It's exactly what it is. So you gotta respect kids that are giving it their all to do whatever they're doing.
And he's doing a lot of good positive things outside of the ring. You know, he's bringing a lot of eyes to boxing. He's helping like bullied children and stuff get into boxing. He's also bringing a lot of attention and eyes to up and coming pro fighters who are unknown to the world. He's putting them on his cards.
Yeah,
he's
my buddy
managing them.
Jack was just on
he's fought like 2 or 3 of Jake's cards now, and he's doing really well. I think he just won a belt, didn't he?
He did, yeah.
Yeah, exactly right. So, you know, there is positives to take. I think, like you said, people get caught up in the facade of the antics of like, but I believe he's a good dude playing the bad guy. You know what I mean? It's like Colby Covington in UFC. You know, Colby Covington, everyone says he's great outside of he's a nice guy, he's chill, he's helpful. But then in the UFC, he's just like, Brazil, you're a dump. Fuck all you filthy animals. He's crazy, bro. You know, I think people get so caught up in their own emotions and feelings that they just like to hate and put people down. But look at Logan in WWE. He's fucking killing it. And
he's killing it. But Logan is meant to be a wrestler.
That's exactly that's what I've said.
That's where he came from. And I believe in high school or college, I'm not sure what it was, but he was a wrestler. Right?
Yeah.
So that's his background. And he's such a persona that like the WWE fits him. And I'm sure people back in Ohio have the same stories that I have of Ronaldo. It's like, I would have never thought that Logan Paul would be a WWE wrestler, right?
He was made for it, man. You look at him right now. He's been there a couple of years, and he's like genetically, physically just blessed. But that's to say he puts work in. And some of the moves, the wrestling stuff he's doing, he looks like he's been there a long time.
Yeah, the dude's a truck.
It's impressive. People I see comments on WWE stuff, and they're like, "Oh, can't stand this guy," but there's no denying he is fucking good.
Yeah, like okay, let's be honest. He got in there because he has a big presence on
For
social
sure.
media. It was easier for
Yep.
him. Not that he got in there. It was easier for him.
Definitely.
But it wasn't the wrong decision.
Hell no.
You know, it's
Yeah.
not like some fucking dude going in there being like fucking out of shape, like,
Yeah.
oh, I have millions of followers, here I am.
Yeah.
The dude's training his ass off.
Bro, he's
He's
freakish.
performing like a freak.
He's doing stunts that none of these guys have
Yeah.
even done before.
And he's
doing
putting
massive
he's putting his body on the line big time.
100%.
He is risking things. You know, he's still very young. He's risking his health. You
And
know,
he's bringing more eyes on the sport.
lots of eyes. I just saw a post of that. Apparently he's the third most influential person
I
in
saw that.
just after Dwayne Johnson and John Cena. Fucking crazy.
That's
a
nuts.
mid-20s fucking YouTube star that's like just one of the biggest names in WWE. And
They've never had a
rightfully so.
personality like him in there, which is like, I think it works so
It's
well.
so different. It's unique.
My favorite personality in WWE was the Ultimate Warrior. That guy was nuts.
Did you grow up on WWE?
Yeah,
Man,
yeah.
me too, bro. The Ultimate Warrior, that was in the tag team duo, wasn't he?
Who was he? I don't know.
I think the guys who's coming out with big spikes on their shoulders?
No.
Who am I thinking of?
Well, maybe he was in. He was in.
I grew up on WWE, man. I was obsessed.
Ultimate Warrior, bro. This guy used to like say like the craziest shit in interviews. He was on one. Like he was on some crazy.
Do you remember Vince
shit.
McMahon back in the day?
Bro, he was jacked.
Through his do-rag stage, he would put the do-rag on. So racist.
Bro,
so
the
racist.
most racist shit they would say. And it's like, what the fuck?
I'm not going to lie, bro. Not that I support racism or find it that funny. I mean, but WWE in the late 90s, early 2000s was some of the most entertaining shit. Oh, that was powerbombing a 90-year-old woman. Do you remember May, our grandma chick? And they were powerbombing her. Dudley Boys put her through a table.
Yeah, I remember that.
Oh my God. But the Attitude Era, man, was just such a different time to me growing up. You're a little bit older than me, I think. How old are you now?
36.
Yeah, so you're a few years older than me at least, you know. But I mean, we grew up watching that like Stone Cold, Mankind, Undertaker, The Rock. Like,
Do you think they were told to turn it down?
no, I think after the Attitude Era.
Advertisers probably, honestly.
Well, a lot of that chapter of people, you know, back in those days, like Rob Van Dam, Shawn Michaels, Kane, you had every name was almost a big star.
Yeah,
in the
it's true.
90s and the early 2000s. And once kind of The Rock got into Hollywood and did acting more, Stone Cold, Goldberg, all these guys retired and left. That's when it kind of, and you know, got a lot more PC. Like Vince McMahon was dropping the N-bomb. He had like the Taliban beating someone up around the time of 9/11. Like he was a fucking savage.
Yeah,
Vince McMahon's crazy, bro.
I guess what people nowadays, like wrestlers, they're probably like, oh, if I become a superstar, I could become an actor or own my own lines or this and that. So they have to be careful what they say, I guess.
Yeah.
Before it was just a bunch of fucking
Yeah.
probably like college dropouts who
Literally.
were on juice. you
Just
know?
fucking just filled with testosterone, being crazy.
Just wanted to beat the shit out of people.
I remember there was like a kiss my ass thingy that Vince McMahon used to do, and he'd make either wrestlers or women, like if they lost, have to kiss his bare ass in the middle of a ring in front of a whole crowd of people, and he'd just be making girls strip in front of him, and like they got no hate back then.
Didn't they have like lingerie?
Lingerie, yeah, bra and panties fights. I'm like 12 years old, and I'm like, I'm fucking touching myself to this shit. I'm like a kid, bro, and I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing right now, but this is nice.
They have like beds in the ring and shit.
Yeah, they had a bit of Edge.
Edge.
There was a wrestler, Edge, and his girl Lita at the time. They were in bed, basically fucking in the middle of the ring. And I'm like, what is going on, bro? Some of the shit was crazy. Ric Flair is just the fucking man.
He's still around.
I don't know how he's alive.
Bro, that guy, like, if you look at him, it looks like he's about to explode.
How old is
He's like as red as fucking like a tomato. He'd be in his like 70s maybe now, but I
gotta
mean,
be.
bro, he between him and Charlie Sheen, they would have done enough coke to fucking kill fucking El Chapo. Man, them guys were just for sure they were on coke. Like, that dude's blood pressure. It's just impressive. How is he not dead?
I don't know.
He would drink. He would snort coke. I know Vince McMahon's had, I think, a few heart surgeries, but I mean,
Probably. I saw the other day, randomly came up on YouTube, like, even Triple H had surgery on his
a lot of them have had bypasses, a lot of all kinds of things.
All the roids that they've all done, you know?
They did a lot. Vince McMahon was fucking big at one stage, jacked.
He's probably a roid dealer.
Fuck yeah.
He probably used the WWE as like a fucking like a back thing.
That's how
for
the wrestlers are so massive.
It's like in your job title, you have to let us sell you steroids.
Yeah, exactly.
Man, wrestling was
costume
good.
in a bag of fucking testosterone.
I think WWE was like a very revolutionary thing back in the day, man, because it created like these personas, it created characters outside. Me and my cousin grew up just fucking each other up, doing wrestling moves and through school, you know, and it's like, I think most dudes, especially, that grew up around the 90s or early 2000s, loved WWE. It's not what it was now. It's a lot different now. It's more controlled and sensitive, but I mean, I don't really watch it. I've watched a few things of Logan in there and I thought it was cool, but WWE was something else.
Yeah, me and my friends, we would always like powerbomb each other in the pool.
In the pool and shit.
Yeah.
The
RKO.
RKO.
Always, like, DDT people into the pool.
The RKO out of nowhere. There's one question I wanted to ask. You don't have to answer, but who do you think wins out of Jake Paul and KSI in a boxing match when the time comes? Because they're going to have to fight.
So I haven't watched a lot of KSI fights, to be honest. I just like watched highlights. If I were to pick, I bet Jake.
Yep.
But only because I haven't watched enough of KSI.
I personally think Jake's fought tougher competition as well.
Think so? Okay.
You know, whether people say Askren was just a wrestler or the basketball dude wasn't a fighter, I think to fight Tyron Woodley twice, who does have knockout power and former titles in the UFC, Tommy Fury beat him. Tommy Fury's a good boxer, you know, like I don't think KSI would beat Tommy Fury either. I think I don't have anything against KSI either. You know, I'm not a hater of any sort towards any of those guys, but I think if they were to fight right now, I think Jake fucks him up.
I feel like Jake is more into the sport than KSI. KSI has a lot of shit going on.
Music,
crime, all this kind of stuff, where he can't put 100% into it. That's the only reason why I would say Jake. But who knows? I mean, boxing, I'm not a huge boxing guy. Like, I don't know too much about the sport, but it looks like a sport where anything can happen.
Anything can happen.
You know, one punch.
That's what the fight game is, man. It takes one punch to shut someone's lights out. Anyone can get caught.
I mean, it's anyone's game, but if I had to put money on it, I'd bet.
That would be a hard fight for Logan to watch because him and KSI are obviously boys. They've got business together. Like, it's probably worth hundreds of millions of dollars now. Yeah. So they're going to be close and tight with their business. And it's Logan's brother. It's like, who's he going to go for? He's going to have to support Jake, you think.
Have they fought
KSI and Logan fought each other twice.
What's the difference?
Yeah. So, I mean, that's why their like collaboration on their brand went so well, because they were two of the biggest dogs in their own fields in different parts of the world.
I think that was genius by them, honestly.
One of the most smartest moves in social media business I've ever seen.
Yeah.
So good for them, and Prime's actually not too bad. I've tried it a few times.
Yeah, there's some flavors I like, some flavors
just taste like concentrated
I
medicine.
I like all of them except Icy Pops. Icy Pops was dog shit.
Yeah.
Ice Pop one?
Yeah, like the color, there was like
the red one tastes like medicine to me.
I never tried that one yet.
That's probably the worst one.
Really?
The rest I love all of them, pretty much.
I think I'm getting a shipment in because they like send me a bunch of stuff. I think
they sent me a box to Australia before it was even out there, and I'm like, shit, I should just sell this for like $30. People are selling them for like $50 a can.
Local Walmart.
I just walk around with a big coat. I'm like, who wants some Prime?
Hey Logan, I'm having a party. Can you send me about 40 cases?
Just have it there for sale.
Yeah.
People were buying them and selling them for like $30 a can and bottle in Australia.
For one single bottle in Australia.
You go into a convenience shop and people have them on a shelf for like $25, $30 a can or a bottle.
We need to be Prime dealers.
And I'm like...
We got yesterday an 8-pack for $13.
Yeah, it's a lot cheaper.
We need to be Prime dealers.
We could.
That's it. That's a new venture.
That might be my new venture. Just illegally import it to Australia and sell it on the corner.
Yeah. So what are you doing time for? Oh, you know, I illegally...
sold a hydration drink.
Sold hydration drink to 15-year-olds. Yeah, I did some time.
$30.
Fucking hell.
Easily.
Nothing is worth $30.
No, hell no. You got a Red Bull energy drink for $2.50 there, then you got a Prime for $25.
Once you drink it, it's gone. That's it.
It's not worth the money. It's not worth
crazy,
that.
But it's crazy to see the influence that Logan still has on kids.
Yeah.
My nephew and my niece. I think my niece is like 12. My nephew's 15. And whenever I'm with them, they're like, "Oh, can you FaceTime Logan?"
Yeah.
Like, bro, I'm not fucking FaceTiming Logan.
It's not like that. Yeah.
Oh, can you get us Prime? Holy cow! Yes, I'll get you Prime.
Yeah.
It's crazy because like his content isn't still towards.
Well, does he even make much content anymore?
Podcasts.
No,
I mean, he's podcasts for sure. I mean, that's for all ages.
But kids don't watch.
But that's not really for kids.
No,
yeah,
but it's crazy. Like, he still has a huge influence on kids. I don't know
he's also got a big library of daily vlogging for years and a lot of content.
True.
So kids growing up might still just be like, oh, I want to watch them now.
That's true.
He had a big grind. Him and Jake, rightfully so, they are where they are because of their work ethic. So.
I could have never done the vlog stuff, man.
I did vlogging and it went really well for me for a year or so and it was going really good. If I stuck to it, it would have gone fucking crazy. I had about 500,000 subs in the first 6 months on a brand new channel.
Wow.
And this is in Australia where, it's not as easy to make it out there in Australia. People don't really care as much. And our population's like 27 million or something compared to America.
Like Canada.
Exactly right. Yeah. It's a lot harder to become someone or to do things out there. A lot more influencers like doing it now with like Instagram-y model influencer shit, but...
My favorite Instagram. Yeah. Every time I see a hot girl, I'm like, oh, let me DM her. Where's she from? And then I see Australia. I'm like,
have you been?
No, never.
You've never been to Australia?
No, never.
Do you want to go?
Yeah.
Dude, you have to come.
Really?
You're more than welcome anytime. I've got 4 spare rooms.
Thank you.
You can have my house. You can have my car. You can have my sister. Are you single right now or you're in a relationship?
Yeah.
You're single? Well, you can have my sister.
Okay, cool.
She'll give herself up for you. And if she doesn't, I'll tell her, I'll be like, you're going to be cut out of my will if you don't.
Awesome.
It's blackmail. If you're watching this, Isla,
I'm gonna be
that's
your
her name.
brother-in-law.
You can be. Man, you need to see Australia.
What part of Australia?
I'm in a place called the Gold Coast.
Okay.
It's like about an hour flight north of Sydney.
Okay.
Maybe an hour and a half. So
What's
yeah,
life like out there?
honestly, man, it's the way I would compare it would be like a very quiet version of Miami.
Okay.
And a lot safer. No guns, no gangs.
God.
It's just nice weather, palm trees, nice ocean, good weather. People are very laid back, really good food. The nightlife in Australia everywhere is very average compared to a lot of other parts of the world. But house parties are fun and shit. There's a lot to do, man.
Cool.
I think you'd love Australia.
I mean, I've seen your parties there. So
Yeah, we did some big parties out there. Yeah, we threw some big parties out there.
I felt like watching your stuff. It kind of felt like, and hopefully this doesn't bother you, but it was like you're like almost like a Dan Bilzerian of Australia.
No, I mean,
you know, like you throw these like crazy parties. With
I'm
all
like
these
a Wish version.
Well, I don't know if you know this, but I heard that Dan Bilzerian is also a Wish version of Dan Bilzerian.
Maybe.
Because all the money that was supposedly his wasn't really his.
Yeah. I actually talked to him the other day. He's actually down to come on the podcast sometime, which I thought was fucking awesome.
I saw like, when was it, like last year or something like that, that like all the money from like all of his investors was used for all the parties and all that.
Yeah, well, I know he was just the face of Ignite, I believe. I think he does have an ownership in Ignite, you know, and I think the house, the parties was probably covered by Ignite, you know.
That was 50 grand a week, that house. It was 200 grand a month.
Week?
Yeah.
200 grand a month.
Because I went to a couple of his parties and they were crazy.
Yeah, I went to, bro, they were so nuts.
I met my ex at one of his parties.
Really?
Yeah, I met her there. And I was like, it's probably why it didn't work out. Probably the wrong place to meet a future wifey. But they were fun, man. They were cool, you know, and I think that's also something when we go back to like, you know, you got a bit like, oh, you didn't enjoy the content as much as you once did, making it, all these things.
Yeah.
I'm the same. So I thought, you know, I made a decent amount of money. What can I do that's not stupid, but it could become a brand? You know, I bought a cool house. I was like, fuck it. And Australia doesn't have a lot of fun parties, especially house parties. I'm like, even if this makes me no money and I never get this money back again, I've spent 100 grand on each party. I did 2 or 3. And it was great.
How do you make money on the party?
You kind of don't. Like brands, we got all alcohol covered. All
Got
alcohol was free. We did get a few brands towards the end that were like, hey, we're happy to give you 5-10 grand to do some stories on the night.
Yeah.
I think if I still had that house by now, I would be able to find ways to get paid to do it.
Right.
But, you know, I did them for a little while. And after my breakup and stuff, man, I went through this just random young midlife crisis where I'm like,
You got to go through it.
I needed spine surgery. I went through a breakup. So I sold my house and I was like, I just want to strip back. I need to strip my fucking life right back because
I did the same.
something wasn't working. Something wasn't, you know, like, why didn't my relationship work? Why have I've got all these back problems. I want to do some boxing. I want to get into it myself. I want to do these things. And I had the house, threw some big parties, and it was just a toxic lifestyle. It was just every weekend. I think 2-3 nights a week would have been on it.
Yeah.
For nearly a whole year, we were just constantly, because people always wanted to come party. Once I threw one big party and everyone saw how cool and fun it was, and man, we had hundreds of people there. There was no fights, nothing stolen, no damage.
It's amazing.
No police complaints, no neighbors.
Never happen here.
Hell no. And we did, and you know, I had like 15 security guards. We did really well with the parties, and it's something I'll definitely do again one day.
Yeah.
But I needed to strip back on that stuff just to get my life in order a bit, you know. And it's crazy. You'd probably know firsthand. Once you really do dedicate your focus and time just to yourself, shit can change quick.
Oh yeah.
And the last 6 to 12 months, I'm now the happiest and just most motivated and healthiest I've ever felt.
Yeah.
And it's great. So now I can start looking at doing some other things again. And
that's good. I like that. But I stripped down my lifestyle completely as well.
Yeah.
Like,
I think it's necessary.
I had a fancy car, fancy house, fancy this, and then I was like, who am I trying to be?
Yeah.
I lost kind of like who I really was.
You can lose yourself in this world so fast, especially here in La La Land.
Yeah, and I'm like, I don't need all this shit. I'm spending all this fucking money to pretend I'm this person when I'm not. Like, and like yourself, I'm the happiest I've been in so long now because I just have my necessities.
Yep.
I'm doing what I want to do at my own pace. Doesn't work out. At least I tried.
Yep.
And fuck it. Nothing else matters.
It's impressive. I like that. That's fucking healthy, man. And I think it's better than seeing people that are still here for the last 10 years, still stuck in that toxic recycling fucking life of just, I have to be doing this, have to be doing that. And I'm like, I think it's good. Like you said, you moved to Thousand Oaks, you know, like that's a nice part of the world, man. It's that's a good part of like California to live. Like I liked living in Woodland Hills because I felt like I was far enough away from all the chaos and the crazy shit that I could have a bit more of a chill, wholesome life. I could go to the gym, I could make content. And it was a nice area. Calabasas is great as well.
Yeah.
So that's cool, man. It's fucking.
There's a great restaurant you should try while you're here. It's called Shibuya.
What is it?
In Shibuya. If you like sushi, it's one of the best sushi
Big
places
sushi guy.
I've ever been to in Calabasas.
Oh shit!
Yes.
What's it called?
Shibuya.
Might have to try that.
You should.
I do like a bit of sushi.
And you got to go like an hour earlier because you're gonna wait.
Oh fuck! It's one of those places.
Yeah. I went last week with Batch, Amanda Cerny, and Christian, and we waited 2 fucking hours.
Yep.
Whoa.
Fuck.
The person was like, "Oh, it's only gonna be a 30-minute wait." We're like, "Okay, we'll just sit outside and talk." And then we're looking at, because we had like a table for like 6 people.
Yep.
And it's a small place, so they'd only have like maybe like 3 big tables, and every single table was just ordering. And we're just outside there. We're like, I can't believe these people are still fucking ordering. They've been here for fucking 2 hours, just waiting for them to come out.
Man, if I go there, if I'm hungry when I get there, I'm gonna end up hangry by that time.
Don't go there. Don't go there completely hungry.
I might eat before I go, smoke a little joint when I get there.
Exactly.
That way I can brew my munchies up a little bit and just enjoy it.
But yeah, you'll love it if you guys check
Fuck
that
yeah, I
place
might have to
out.
go check that out before I go back doors. I'm here for another week or two, so you're single at the moment.
Single.
Looking for a wife, or you don't really care?
Both.
Both.
Looking
Yeah, I'm about
for
the
a
same.
wife, but also don't really.
There's no
care.
rush.
Like, I don't know. Sometimes I'm like, fuck, I really need to start a family, this and all that. But then I look at the options and I'm just like, not for me.
Too many people settle for like comfort or for the fear of being alone, and that's where I'm at now. I went through my breakup and she moved on quickly and got a new partner, and I was happy for her. But I'm different. I was hanging out with girls pretty quickly just thinking it was going to help. I was like, oh, if I hang out with another girl, it takes my mind off that. But then I learned, I'm like, no, the more I just keep distracting myself from that and trying to mask it with new girls or new things, it's just all circling back, and it's just going to get more and more baggage, more shit to deal with. So I was like, I'm going to be single for at least a year or two, just focus on me. And, you find when you don't go looking that you attract better people too. Mm-hmm. People these days, they just bounce from relationship to relationship.
Yeah.
And they're not allowing themselves time to heal from their old thing or even take the lessons, and I've learned so much from my last relationship. So I think it's a good place to be.
Yeah, I agree. I think like with me, like, I don't know, maybe like 8 to 10 years ago, I used to like think if a girl was my friend, she was attracted to me.
Yep.
So I would like go for the wrong girls, So now I feel like I've had so much better relationships with women, realizing that we could be friends.
Yeah, definitely.
Before I never thought I could be friends with girls. Now honestly, I have probably just as many girlfriends as
I'm the same, man. I'm friends with a lot of girls now, and it's strictly friendships.
And it's so fucking cool. Like, and not only that, it's like when you're friends with a girl, they have friends who they bring as
exactly
well. Right?
Exactly right.
So it's like it's always a plus being friends with women in that sense, but they're also really cool and really nice, especially like if you find girls who are humble and chill and
just
real,
chill, funny girls, man. Just want to have a bit of fun.
Not the type of girls that like are clout diggers.
Oh yes,
or gold diggers.
There's a big percentage of them are here in LA.
It's a big percent in LA. But when you do find like, usually honestly, like the girls who I get along with really well are like girls from like small cities, you know, like who grew up not
like country girls as well, man. They're the more laid back. They're fun. I want a working class woman, man. Like my next wifey. Like for me, it's like I've gone through 2 long relationships now. The next time I get in one, it's like that's it. I'm now not like in that childish mindset of like I just want to date and have fun and move on. It's like if I get myself into a relationship again, it's like that's going to be my wifey. So like you, man, I'm not settling for anything less than exactly what I want. Yeah. And it might take a long time to find because my standards are very high. I'm very particular with what I want. Yeah. So I think when you know exactly what you want in a woman or a man, whatever it is you want, it's like it narrows your focus, and you can handle rejection. You can do rejection a lot better without feeling bad.
Oh yeah.
And another thing you said, which was interesting, like if you're friends with girls, you don't know what the future holds as well. You could be friends with a girl for many years and something might happen.
Yeah, exactly.
And you've had time to develop a friendship first.
Right.
You know what each other are like.
That's so important with dealing with relationships. And probably that's why like not a lot of relationships work out these days is because people are so quick to hook up.
They make out one night, the next day they're fucking getting married.
Right, exactly. That, and like their first experience with themselves is intimate when it should be getting to know each other and be friends first, right? Because in order for something to work, you have to get along with the person and connect with them, right? So I think that's super important, and like that's why relationships and it's not just with dating, even friendships.
Yep.
You guys should actually become friends.
You need to learn about each other first, man. Because if you only go off like when you first meet people, it's like the honeymoon phase at the beginning and everything's great. Nothing's bad. You hook up, you make out, the sex is fun. Everything's just great. You're learning a little bit. But it's like when you do that, I think when you instantly go up to here, that's when it drops quickly.
Oh, yeah.
Whereas you slowly can build into things, learn about each other, learn what the red flags and green flags might be and if they're worth hanging around through. There's a few things you don't like. Yeah. That's when things can be a bit more long, like sustainable, I think. And my whole life, I've always rushed into things.
Yeah.
I meet a cool chick. I'm like, you're hot, you're funny, the sex is good. Cool. You're good. I don't care about your past. I don't care what anything else. Let's just date, And then now it's like I can meet a girl. And if I sit down to have dinner with a girl and I'm like, I'm open to trying something. If she sits there on her phone the whole time, I'm like, cool. Like, not you. You're not it. You know what I mean? It's like,
so I think the older we get too, the more we know what we want.
Yeah.
As men
for
and
sure.
women, right? So for me as well, I'm already picky.
Yeah.
As far as like.
So you should be.
Yeah. and same with you, like I haven't had really any girls I've been on dates with who are on their phone, but just even like little things where they want to be in their life.
Yep.
If it doesn't go with what I want to be. And I'm sure they're judging me the same way I'm judging them because I can understand if I meet up with a girl and she's not cool with me being on social media.
Yeah.
Hey, if you want to be private, that's you, but this is how I want to be.
Your life is what you want.
And hey, we could be friends, but if you don't want to be in a relationship, that's
healthy.
And it's super
it's
healthy.
All about communicating.
And it should be. And shouldn't have to end things like where both you guys hate each other, like the younger Piques, in order for me to get over someone, I had to make sure that
Block
that person
them,
hated
cut
me
them
or
off.
I hated them.
Yeah. Easier that way.
But now it's like, oh, you're not interested in me? Cool.
Yeah.
Let's be friends. No hard feelings.
Cool.
Yeah.
No problem.
Me and my ex split up and stayed friends. So.
It's funny because like I was seeing this girl for a couple months and we were going on dates, we were hooking up, this and that. And like within 24 hours, she was like, I don't know if it's going to work out.
Yeah.
I was like, cool.
Well, that's the best thing, man. It's so mentally strong. When you can change your like perception of like what rejection might be, it's like they're doing you a favor.
Yeah, 100%.
It's like my ego isn't hurt that you might not want to date me. It's like, cool, we can be friends.
Yeah.
It's like just because it's the same thing vice versa. If I tell a girl that she's not my type, it's like, don't take offense. You're probably perfect for a different person.
Yeah.
You're still attractive. You're still a cool person. But for what I want in my future in life, it's like, it's not you. And it's the same. If a girl tells me that, there's no offense taken. And they're saving me time. I'd rather than be honest and say, look, it's not going to work from day one, instead of saving me time, money, even energy. It's just like, you don't want to waste a year and then be like, oh, this isn't going to work. It's like, tell me at the start. Save me all this bullshit,
Exactly. And the good thing about being single is that you can focus on yourself.
Exactly.
So when someone tells me that I'm not, they're not interested in me, or if I'm not interested in someone else, it's like, okay, cool. I'll get more time.
Back to the drawing board and back to focusing on you.
Yeah,
exactly.
Because when you're with someone else, you have to focus on two different people, right?
100%.
You have to make sure that the other person is happy. You have to make sure that you're doing stuff with them, and
then when there's disagreements and shit, it can ruin your day.
It
can distract you.
It can ruin their day. It could distract you. There's like all these different dynamics in your life that could be a burden. So
for sure.
I mean,
people need to have their shit together, I think, in order to date. You can't just be floating around life not knowing what the fuck's going on, not knowing where you are, what you want to do. You do need to have a sense of like, because if you rely on other people to fulfill your life's purpose, it's just never going to work. No. You can't rely on other people for your happiness. You can't be like, oh, if I date this person, my life will be fixed. It's like, no, like, what do you want to do with your life? Like, who do you want to be? What do you want around you? It's like,
someone can help you, but they're only going to help you for so long before they get sick of it.
Yeah.
You have to eventually be able to help yourself.
Facts, man.
Because, I'm not living to make sure someone else is
definitely
it's okay. I could help because I'll care and I love, but at some point, you need to figure shit out.
Bro, do you know what's crazy? I read a book called Models by Mark Manson. He did The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. He did quite a few books.
That book,
yeah, he's done quite a few books. Models is a bit of an older book. It's like a dating relationship kind of book, more so aimed at men. And he talks about that. He's like, he breaks down the difference between needy men and narcissistic men and all these things. And it's like, you do need to like know what you want. It's like, because if you don't know what you want, you'll be looking in the wrong areas. You'll be here. You'll go through all this bullshit. So narrowing your focus and even like going to the effort of writing down what are things about a woman you like, from her appearance to her personality to her morals. When you know what you want in a woman, it makes it just so much easier because you can easily say, oh, no, sorry, no, it's not you. If a girl rejects you, it's like, cool, it's not going to work.
Yeah.
And I think that book really helped me a lot because this is the longest I've been single in my adult life, and it's been about 14 months.
Really?
And man, honestly, maybe not financially wise or career wise, but I think personal growth wise, it's been the most important year of my entire existence.
Awesome.
I've learned the most about myself. I've done things I never would have done back in the day, trying to battle them long-term relationships, overseas, long-distance relationships. And, I've been able to do so much now, and I feel like my life's really starting to fucking peak now. And it's good, man. It's just, we just got to go through that shit, And I think it's cool when you can be single. I think it's a flex being single in this generation.
Well, I've been single for 6 years.
You're the king.
I am the king of singleness.
Facts, bro. That's the thing. People just feel like they need to have someone, man. People feel like they need a relationship to feel complete. Yeah. And I think that's unhealthy. So I think being able to stay single in a world full of temptation and people jumping from person to person, I think it's a cool thing to be able to.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly prefer being single and having relationships with girls that are strictly sexual.
Yeah, exactly. Well, when you can openly communicate about it.
Hey, like, I'm just attracted to you physically. I just want to fuck.
Yeah.
Do you want to fuck?
Bro, just being open about it makes a big difference.
We'll just fuck and that's cool and no strings attached. Yeah. I prefer that over like the dynamics of like, I'm attracted to her, but is she attracted to me, or does she like me, or does he like me? Like, I just don't like that. I'd rather
being open and honest from the beginning is the best way. You're like, look,
the best way.
I've done that with a girl recently. You know what I mean? A few months ago, I was like, hey, just so you know, I'm not really interested in a relationship. It's not that you're not a great person. I'm down to have fun. We can go get food together, go to the beach and hang out. We can fuck. We can do whatever. But just please, like, know that, like, I'm being honest. I'd rather not sleep with you instead of having you get upset in a few months if I don't want to date you.
Yeah.
And girls might be like, no, I really appreciate the honesty. Yeah. Like, I'm down to do the same. Or they'll be like, oh, sorry, thanks for being honest, but it's not what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
And it saves a lot of bullshit for sure.
A lot of bullshit.
A lot of bullshit. Because fuck all that. I cannot be fucked for girl problems anymore. It just ruins it.
Yeah, I got like that so many times because in the past I'd hook up and I'd think like someone liked me because we hooked up, and then it's like,
me too. I've done that.
Yeah. It's like, it was just a one night thing. It's like, oh.
Yeah.
But now I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Like, we're just fucking. All right, cool. Now I
was like that through my early 20s, man. Any girl I'd make out with and hook up with that night or next day I'm like, she loves me. And I'm like, yeah.
And then you just don't get a text answer.
Never hear from him. I'm like, I suck. My dick's small. My dick's too small. She hates me. But man, it is what it is. It's fucking. I just realized this is probably the longest podcast I've ever done. Usually we usually go for about an hour, man. It's flown by, but I might just fucking wrap it up there, bro. So before I do wrap it up, what's the future plans for you? What are you up to?
So honestly, wish I fucking knew. I'm kind of the type of guy where I just like I go with the flow,
day by day, almost sort of thing.
Day by day. I tell a lot of people that like I feel like every 5 to 6 years my life goes in complete opposite.
It's like phases, chapters.
Yeah,
like
I feel like I'm going through chapters of my life. Who knows? It could be. I have a lot of business ventures that I'm working on right now. I'm hopefully opening up a studio with some people. We'll be starting a YouTube channel and all this kind of stuff. Just kind of like in the early phases of getting this developed.
Oh yeah.
I have a Wagyu company that I started and getting that off.
You like your meats, right? Yeah, because I remember you applied some of my
meat.
Oh, I love meat. I love Wagyu, man. Wagyu, the Kobe beef, the A5 Wagyu. Oof.
Hell yeah, so fucking.
You would have had Kobe beef before. That shit's fucking crazy. Yeah, so they like hand massage the cow. I believe that's
something to do with that. They give them massages. They feed them certain foods.
Yeah,
and it's just.
Man, I love when you just put it in your mouth, it just melts in your mouth. It's like, this is the best.
It's like the worst for your health.
But it tastes good. Fuck it, life's short. Enjoy your foods, you know what I mean? But really appreciate you coming on, man. It's been fucking good for a catch up, good chat. You guys can find all of his socials in the description here if you haven't seen them, which you probably have. But if you want to go see them, check the description. Go check out his stuff. He's a fucking OG, one of the goats of the fucking world we all live in, and very appreciative to have you on here, man. And
thanks for having me.
Before we leave.
Aw, so cute.
It's my one kiss of the day.
I just got on the half because I didn't know where you were going to
He had to close his eyes.
Could be the cheek, could be the lips. You just don't know.
It was lovely. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. We love you all. We'll see you in hell. Bye-bye.
Bye.